Welcome to the 6th vlog for Fantasy General 2. My name is Jan Wagner and I'm one of the members of Owned by Gravity, the developers. Today we're going to talk about magic in the game. Magic, if you remember it from Fantasy General 1, was kind of a ability like every other. So some units had magical abilities, they were like skills, but there was no specific magic system in that sense. We wanted to have magic to play a much larger role, and it actually does so in two ways. First of all, obviously, you've got magical spells. You've got heroes, and a lot of our heroes have different magical spells, ranging from damage spells like Lightning Strike, to spells that influence morale, to speed spells, to defensive spells. You can raise undead, you can summon monsters. There's a host of things that you would expect from a fantasy game. That's one part of it. Obviously, in order to cast magic, we introduced mana, which again is not really original, but it's something that hasn't been in Fantasy General 1. But there's a couple of things around mana that we've done differently. One of the things is mana doesn't just exist for you, which means you'll have to actually get mana pools or mana sources in the map in order to generate mana for yourselves. Some heroes have special abilities that make them mana vessels or make them rune bound, which means they come with a minimum amount of mana starting the map, so you're not empty when you start the map. But in general, it's one of the tactical goals for you, or even strategic goals for you, to conquer mana pools either from the enemy or find them in the wild, and make sure that you have a supply of mana. One of the other things that is specific to the barbarian faction that you're going to play is that you gain mana, because for barbarians mana is spirit energy. So the barbarian shamans talk to spirits, they commune with the spirits, they can use spirit powers, and they can also get spirits to do things for them. And one of the advantages of that system for them is that whenever you have a unit that actually dies, you receive mana. So dying units, basically their spirits leave, and a part of that spirit energy that is freed is siphoned off by your mages or shamans and can be used then to cast spells. That's also a very nice way of making sure that there's sort of an inherent balancing in the whole thing. When you lose a lot of units, usually your army will get weaker, obviously, because you don't have these units to fight for you anymore. But at the same time, you gain extra magic abilities, which means you get extra magical power, basically, and that will allow you to cast more powerful spells or more spells more frequently. So in that sense, the barbarian faction has an advantage, because even if it loses units, it can use the loss that they suffer in order to cast magic. For the Empire, magic works slightly differently. They have the ability to drain mana pools, which means that you not only conquer a mana pool and get your regularly turn by turn amount of mana that they sort of produce automatically, but you can drain them in sort of one go and suck a lot of mana up into your character, and then that allows you to use the powerful summons of undead that the Empire has. Mana and magic are also part of the story. When you start the campaign, one of the things that you'll realize very quickly is that the barbarians, with their sort of shamanistic views, are really not very fond of the Empire coming into their region and draining all the mana pools around them, because that affects the nature of everything. Mana pools are sort of the source of life, the spirit energy that permeates the highlands, and draining that energy obviously endangers not only the spirits themselves, but also the bond with nature that the trolls as well as the barbarian tribes have. So working with mana, playing with mana, and actually having mana inside the story is one of the ways that we try to improve on the magic system and make it a little more interesting, but also not only use mana in terms of a resource like any other, but something that is specifically tied to your way of being, to the way the faction operates, and also in this part then to the story and how it plays out. Throughout the game you'll find mana pools, you'll find other ways to create magical energy, and you can also use spirit power, which is sort of the solidified mana that you have, and that allows you to create specific magical units. One example is the Fire Archer, which needs mana to create the sort of magical arrows that they shoot. Trolls, a lot of the trolls require the spirit power in order to sort of evolve into better troops. And this spirit power is also something that you can find throughout the map, but also is going to be part of the story. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to tell you more about that right now. But if you're interested in it, you can play the beta still. You can wishlist on Steam or GOG, and you can of course let us know what you like about the game and what you're looking for in Fantasy General 2. Until next time, thank you for watching, bye.